Excel VBA cell referencing made easy. Range, cells, and offset explained. Have you ever wondered why some VBA developers write range A1 while others write cells 1, 1? Or maybe you've seen mysterious code like offset 1, 0 and thought, what on earth does that mean? The truth is that these three methods, range, cells, and offset, are the foundation of almost every Excel VBA application. Whether you are creating a report, importing data, building dashboards, or developing a complete school management system, you will use these techniques every single day. Today, I'll show you how they work in the simplest way possible. Let's get started. Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Raphael, and on this channel, we learn how to transform Microsoft Excel into a professional software development platform using VBA. In our previous lessons, we covered variables, data types, option explicit, variable scope, sub-procedures and functions, parameters, arguments, and return values, by var and by ref. Now it's time to start working directly with Excel worksheets, because at the end of the day, Excel VBA is all about reading information from worksheets, processing it, and writing results back. And that all begins with knowing one important skill: cell referencing. Let's begin this way. Imagine your worksheet is a city where every building has an address. For example, A1, B5, D2, D12, G20, and so on. If someone tells you go to house A1, you immediately know where to go. Excel works exactly the same way. Every cell has an address, and VBA simply needs a way to locate that address. That's what cell referencing is about. Let's start by learning how to use range. The easiest way to reference a cell is with the range object. For example, let's write this: sub demo range A1.value equal to hello, and sub. Let's break it down this way. Range A1 means go to cell A1. Then .value means access the value stored in that cell. And finally, write hello. This places the word hello inside cell A1. This is our Excel sheet, and this is range A1. Now let's go to our module and run the code by stepping through. Let's press F8. We can now see that Excel has written the word hello in cell A1. Now let's go to cell A1, read the value and display it as a message. We will write MSG box range A1 dot value. Let's run the code once again. From the result, we can see that VBA read whatever value is in cell A1 and displayed it, which says hello. Now that we know what range is, let's look at when to use range in our code. Range is perfect when you already know the address. For example, range B5, range D10, range F20, and so on. Professional developers often use range when working with titles, fixed report locations, headers, labels, dashboard cells, and others. Range is not limited to only one cell, but can work with multiple cells. For example, we can have range A1 to D10. This will reference every cell from A1 to D10. Let's look at this by stepping through. Now go to the Excel sheet. One line of code can affect many cells. Now let's learn about another powerful method. Instead of writing range A1, we can write cells 1, 1. Why? Because cell uses numbers instead of letters. The format is rows and columns. So cells 1, 1 means row 1, column 1, which is A1 on our Excel sheet. Let's try this other example. Cells 5,2. Can you guess the answer? Yes, the correct answer equals B5. Let's look at it. Row 5 and then column 2. This gives us B5. Check out this other example. Cells 10,4. So we count the rows 1 up to 10 and move through the column 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer will be equal to D10. Why professional developers love using cells? Suppose you want to loop through 5,000 records. Can you write range A1, range A3 up to range 5,000? Of course not. Instead, you can write it this way. For I equal to 1 to 5,000, cells I, 1 dot value. Now VBA can change the rows automatically. This is why using cells is ideal for loops and dynamic applications. Let's look at the other cell referencing type, and that is offset. This is one of the most useful tools in VBA. Offset simply means move away from the current cell. Imagine you are standing on range B2 dot offset 1, 0. This means that starting from where you are standing, move down one row, and the column is 0, so you don't have to move. This will give you the result B3. Let's try this. Range B2 offset 0, 1. From our starting point, which is B2, the row is 0, so we can't move. But the column is 1, so we can move 1 column right. And the result will be equal to C2. This means that with our starting point of range B2, we can move 2 rows down, 1, 2, and 3 columns right, 1, 2, 3. This will give the result of E4. Your offset range doesn't necessarily have to be B2 all the time. I only used it for explanatory purpose. Offset makes your code flexible because it moves relative to the current position instead of using fixed address. Imagine you are creating an invoice. Cell A2 contains customer name. The next row should contain customer address. Instead of writing range A3, you can simply write range A2 offset 1, 0. Now, even when the layout changes, your code remains easier to understand. Let's look at how we use cell referencing at Rafina Systems. Imagine we are building Rafina School Manager, and student data begins at row 2. Instead of hard coding every row, range A2, range A3, range A4, we would use for I equal to 2 to last row. Student name equal to cells I, 1. Student class equal to cell I, 2. And school fees equal to cells I, 3. Next I. This allows the application to work whether there are 10 students or 10,000 students. That's how real-world software is built. Let's look at some common beginner mistakes. Mistake number 1. Using range when the address changes. Instead, use cells. Number 2. Using cells but forgetting to assign rows and columns. The row comes first, while column comes second. Number 3. Using offset without understanding the direction. Remember, positive row means go down. Negative row means go up. Positive column means go right. Negative column means go left. Here are some simple rules I follow. Use range when the location is fixed. Use cells when the location changes. Use offset when you need to move relative to another cell. Choosing the right method makes your code cleaner, easier to read and much easier to maintain. Let's look at this quick comparison table. Range is best used for fixed addresses, while cells is used for dynamic rows and columns. Offset, on the other hand, moves relative to another cell. Remember that range is for addresses, cells is for coordinates, and offset is for movement. Understanding this simple comparison will help you to decide which method to use in almost every VBA project. Today you've learned what cell referencing is, how to use range, how to use cells, how to use offset, when to use each one, common beginner mistakes, and professional development techniques for dynamic Excel applications. In the next episode, we will build on these concepts with another essential skill: finding the last used row and column in Excel VBA. Build dynamic applications that grow with your data. You will learn how to write VBA code that automatically adapts as your data expands, eliminate hard-coded range, and make your application truly scalable. If you found this tutorial helpful, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Rafina System Excel VBA Developer Series for more practical Excel VBA tutorials. And in the comment below, answer this: which method do you think you use most, range, cells, or offset? Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode. Bye for now.